Alright, so Cobra Kai has released its final 5 episodes on Netflix with Season 6, Part 3, and especially with the show that's now come to a close, it is officially over. Our main characters getting their send-offs, and especially for what was going to happen in the final moments of the show, and I can confidently say this was the best satisfying conclusion to a saga ever, especially from the storyline to all the action to all the choreography and so much more, and there's a lot to talk about. So this will be my full non-spoiler review. I'm going to be going over everything, especially with the emotional moments, everything that I felt all the way possible. There's so much to get into that I want to get off my chest right now. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so it's on any future videos, including more Cobra Kai content. But now let's get right into it. And now, I want to start off by saying that going into part 3 of the show's final season, especially for how we were going to kick things off, and even after part 2's cliffhanger, where our characters are standing in the beginning of the final part of this last season, because even though I was a bit nervous going into it for how this show was going to end, because even though it was a dumb idea for Netflix to split this show's final season in 3 parts, and especially as not giving enough hype, but I definitely think that part 3 was so great, and I think it was the best series conclusion. It was very satisfying to me, especially where our characters are left standing and what the future was gonna hold, because that's what it felt like, because this was like sort of the beginning of the end for our main characters, especially with Miguel, Dimitri, Hawk, Tori, Sam, Robbie, and all of the Miyagi-Do students, especially with all of them coming together. Very happy going into it, especially as, this was like a no time, because I think it starts off for where part 2 ended off, because especially if you know what happens, but it immediately picks right back up where part 2's cliffhanger ended, and now going into the final 5 episodes of the show, because every time the episodes progressed, and even though they're going back to where it all began for the Saga Taigai, that's right in the valley, especially if you'll see the marketing for it, especially where the show started and where the show ended, where it all began in the valley, and I was very happy about it, and even between each moment, and there are moments where it's so emotional, fist pumping, and there's definitely some cheerful moments as well, because especially where our characters were going to end up by the end of the show, that's what it really mattered, because especially as this is a legacy show that was carried upon a 3-movie in 80s trilogy, but now going into the show's final parts, and especially for Daniel and Johnny, for our main senseis, and everyone was going to get their send-offs, and this was the best conclusion to a show I've seen in a long time, and I can't tell you how many times I was cheering, and also in emotions, and or should I say crying for these characters, because I think with the creators and writers know how to step up their game with the show, because even though for how they were gonna top this, because especially because these people behind the scenes know about the material of the show for how they're gonna bring things to a proper conclusion, and with the show's part 3 of the final season, it completely shows that. It really takes its time to really develop where our characters are going after the show, especially with their future, and everyone going their separate ways, and even with the Saga Taigai in the show's final moments, I was really satisfied with what I was getting into. There was no dull moment, and I want to say, without giving away any spoilers, there's something big that happened in the penultimate episode that was somehow never addressed in the final moments of the show, or even with the series finale, but I'll get into that in full in a spoiler review for when I can talk spoilers. But I'm pretty sure with that moment, I'm pretty sure I hope it gets addressed sometime in point in time. And now I want to get into the Saga Taigai, and because especially that they brought the tournament into the valley, because that's how the show started, and how the show was going to end, right there where it all began, in the valley. That tournament played a key role factor into this show's final season, and with the way that Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai was going to end up, and even with our main characters that are fully developed and with the way that they got their send-offs, and I want to say it is a very satisfying conclusion for their story arcs, and with the way that they want to handle things, with the way with these characters that are written, and with the way that we become attached to them. I was like cheering for them like every step of the way, especially within these final 5 episodes. They really take their time to really lay the groundwork for what's in store for the end of the show, because there's so much moments that you'll never not stop watching. Even for the fact that I had to wonder that how could part 2's cliffhanger ending be topped by part 3? How could they top this? Well, the answer to that is all the above, because it was very satisfying of the way that they ended this show. Just with the way that everything was delivered and with the way that it was handled. And even though we did have to wait a long time to see where the show ended, but it was a very, very great ending. I mean, I'm so sad that it's over, and ever since I started watching the show back in 2021, and even though I was hooked from the very beginning, especially where these characters were introduced and for how their characters ended, but even though that this is like a farewell to the show, but hey, Cobra Kai never dies. And on top of with Daniel and Johnny, and with the way that their character development and arcs have come so far, and with the way that they are handled towards the end of the show, it started out as enemies in the very first Karate Kid movie as we were first introduced to them, but now seeing their arcs paid off with the final minutes of the show, it's where it really got teary, it really got emotional, it got a very happy ending between our main characters and for the entire story. And it's also because they really wanted to end the show with a bang, and that's all I ever wanted, and they delivered the heck out of the show and with its conclusion, especially with the show's ending, and especially with the flashbacks involved and so many callbacks in the show. It was definitely worth it in the very end. I want to say, with these words, it is very satisfying. It has emotional fist pumping moments that will make you cheer and to get excited. In the show's final moments, it will make you savor every moment of where the show has come to so far, and for how they were gonna top this with the choreography, with the fight scenes. And oh my gosh, the fight choreography is incredible, and they are always topping it within the final season, and especially within the series finale. It is incredible with the way how things were well done. So much I want to get off my chest here, but it is a very satisfying ending to Cobra Kai, especially as it started off as a YouTube original back in 2018. Now, it ended as a full-on Netflix show that everyone loves, as it is carried on from an iconic trilogy, a legacy series which ended on a high note, and this was a very satisfying and incredible way to end the show with Cobra Kai, man. I can't wait to talk about it more. But yeah, those are my thoughts, especially as I love the characters, and with the way that they got their moments, their emotional moments, and with the way that they got their wins, and for how they got their ending, and especially with our main senseis, for how they ended up well. There are some moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It is pure adrenaline rush, and they really found a way to bring the show to a great proper closure. And to me, this was the best series all around on Netflix. Another show that has come to an end. I really come to love it. It was the best ending I could ever picture it, and I think I'm going to watch a few more times. But there are definitely going to be moments that are definitely going to be worth having discussions and conversations about everywhere online on social media. But yeah, these are my thoughts. Yeah, I can't wait to go over more with you guys as well. But that's going to do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments below. And if you see in Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of it. And what your thoughts on the show's ending. Just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the notification bell for future videos. And also follow all my social medias over linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.